Daniel Hutchings is your friendly neighbourhood freelance gigolo. He lives on the outskirts of the entertainment industry on a diet of cheap cat food. He has made 3 feature-length art comedies, which he likes to call thingies: Django Away, Freelance Giggle-Oh, and Happy Returns. And who's Daniel Hutchings? Well, me. Walking up this hill brings back some wonderful memories, mainly trying to pull a suitcase full of costumes and equipment to shoot Joe King's Throne. As for these shots, because I didn't quite know what I was doing and I wanted to take advantage of strange weather, at the drop of a hat I shot them totally solo. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to make Django Away as an artistic venture, because I wanted to explore filmmaking rather than explore business strategies. I didn't think about where it was going to go, but I just sort of like, yeah, it's tough to look back on without it. I'm trying to remember how I felt and what I was thinking at the time. It's like I wanted to work as close to my imagination as possible, and I felt that the avenues that were presented didn't actually seem like actual avenues, and they were just sort of like stages of admin. And so I wanted to, if I was going to make a film, then I was going to make the film, you know, rather than plan a film and then spend time trying to find money and then spend time trying to get people to work on it. And so it's just long, instead of it being a long protracted thing. And also, you know, like coming from a comedic angle, and you've got things where the crumminess of how it looks feeds into the comedy. Yeah. So it's not like I was trying to do like Apocalypse Now with just a camcorder, you know. It's like, you know, I was thinking like if the Exifeston stuff has like a holy grail quality to it, then that will feed back into it because it's within the comedy character's imagination. It's not a legitimate space or place in time, so it's reflective of like the guy's internal imagination and everything. So I think it was just the excitement and the interest in wanting to make instead of explain and convince. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yes, this all sounds lovely, but can we speed this up a little? We do have a lot of appointments today.
Yeah, brill. Well, the next chapter is called
What's a thingy? Thingies is what I like to call my feature-length art comedies. They're like my gifts to the world. I think with the thing is, it's one of the things where it started out being, you know, a bit tongue-in-cheek and a little bit of like, well, if it's not a film, if it's something else, then it'll be the best thing he ever made. Like Django will be the best thing he ever made, and it'll be, you know, give me a sense of freedom as a filmmaker. It'll be give the audience a sense of freedom as to what to expect. So it should be something that's indescribable. The best way to navigate your way around what I've been making is not to think of them as films or movies at all, but to think of them as beacons, little lights shining across the dark to help illuminate the journey of travellers passing through. I always thought about the little interview clip of Jim Morrison when he visited the UK, I think about 67, I think it was. And he said he wasn't very happy with a lot of the Doors' music and a lot of their performances because he felt like it was too dark. And I think he describes it as being like someone who's not quite home, and that in the future he would like to make something that's just a complete expression of joy, of just pure joy, like the coming of spring. And I saw that quite early on when I was a teenager, and that always resonated with me with regards to being something to focus on, to draw things from, to spread joy as an emotion rather than just to make people laugh. So it was a feeling rather than the action of laughter.
I'm just trying to make the world a happier place, one laugh at a time.
When I say Daniel, you say Hutchings, Daniel. Daniel. When I say Hutchings, you say Daniel. Daniel. Hello, and welcome to my show. I said hello, and welcome to my show. We finished. Welcome to my show.
That's me, Daniel Hutchings, and I'm a freelance Giggle-Oh. I live to entertain people.
Action.
Hello and welcome to the Seven Oaks Pub, a venue of many an amazing comedy experience for me. It's where I did a regular slot for Will Hutchby's comedy night. This was in between Django and freelance Giggle-Oh. I decided to start doing live performance because I'd never felt comfortable doing live performance, and I never felt comfortable enough, quote unquote, being myself to be the kind of performer to go up and just talk about experiences that I'd had during the week or recently and building a set around that kind of observation comedy. What I was more interested in is exorcising a certain nervous energy I had socially and trying to understand what that could mean to other people and understand if it could have some kind of use for me in life in general. I ended up doing the regular gigs at the Seven Oaks Pub.
Like that.
Some footage from one of those shows is on Freelance Giggle-Oh with the Hello song. And that set went really, really amazing. It was this really amazing dream where everyone seemed to enjoy the exuberance and the fun of being on stage and how exciting it is to be in front of people.
That's what the film is basically. It's an extension of what my live act is, but into like all the visual elements that go with that. So it's not just a live show and then you cut to, video work.
Suddenly, my thingy sense tingled. I think I'm losing my audience. I better step things up a bit. But with what? Hi Thingy, there is a secret Happy Return screening, but to find out where it is, you have to find this Blu-ray case. Inside, it tells you the venue and the start time. Happy hunting, Thingy out.
That was Django away. I'd like to thank you both. Thank you all for coming. Thank you very much to Chopper for running bar tonight. It's a very stressful job. We'll like to reconvene downstairs now, a bit of a chin wag, and hang out for a bit, get to know each other. Let's go downstairs.
And I really, really believe that it's an amazing movie, and it's so funny, and I love it because the feeling that I had was a completely feeling of freedom.
I think it's an extension of performance. The Thingy screenings, because I'm at all the screenings, I'm there, I'm usually introducing them. Quite often there's like either a chat afterwards or post Q&A or something, and it's just that it happens to be pre-recorded and edited and put together. It's still in a physical space, we're still with people, we're still putting something over. It's not necessarily, the recorded element isn't live, but there's a life to the event that they're there with me, and so I think that helps people see the work a little bit through my eyes because I'm affecting the context a little bit more than if it was sort of traditional distribution. If it was traditional distribution, then they'll be coming to it cold, and they would evaluate it based on what else was on at the cinema that day.
It's more direct as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think that you've developed this through your comedy because you're connecting directly with an audience when you do that, and your filmmaking seems the same way, and the way that you show your films as well when you organise the screenings, it's an event, it's something that's unique. It's not just a shall we go there and buy some popcorn and watch a load of adverts in the film?
Oh, I do love adverts before the thingy. See, I put my own trailers and my own fake adverts before the thingy, just so it puts people in a frame of mind that they're at a cinema event. I think also I'm very conscious of having something that screams excitement and validates that they've come in to watch the thingy. So always conscious of within the first 5 minutes, once the thingy's actually started, that there is something that speaks of an artistic conceit that's been put into the film. So in Django Away, it was having the little time lapse of Django being dead on the passed out on the beach, and my comedy character describes it as doing one of those speedy up things and then it's morning. So I wanted to have something where it had a sense of production value. In Freelance Giggle-Oh, it was that it was going to actually be pure joy and fun, and maximum fun for children of all ages, which is another way I like to describe what I do, with the Hello song. And in Happy Returns, it was
many happy returns.
I made the decision that it was time to try making a budgeted film for practical reasons, and that was that my camcorder that I used to make Django and Freelance Giggle-Oh, that I owned and didn't hire any equipment for any of the thingies, had developed a glitch that was really regular. So I wouldn't be able to have many takes without dropped frames or a glitch in the frame. So I thought, well, I can no longer make films with my own resources, my own equipment. So I better look at figuring out how to be paid or use someone else's money to make a feature film. And
I thought you were going to say, oh, I've got a family now and I have to start taking it seriously.
says, stop around and get some money.
Like, that's how I feel every morning when I wake up. Serious. No. It was a technical thing. All along. Sorry folks, you need to know the dramatic story we wanted.
There's obviously also the desire after doing 2 feature-length works and having Freelance Giggle-Oh picked up by Carbaluce in Milan, that I thought there must be a natural progression here that people can see that these like strange art comedies have some kind of validation. So maybe we should see about if we can put that on a slightly bigger scale and reach a slightly larger audience and begin to, at the very least, cover its own costs for production and be able to spend more time experimenting and discussing with having a team. So the stuff like art design and costume and makeup and everything, I can have a more process of development with the people I'm collaborating with and getting more out of those, being able to have those people invest in the film, like their artistic voice and their artistic ability and sensibilities.
Enjoy yourself. And it doesn't have to be about spending money.
I think you touched on something that I think about a lot, you know, how you said that you would be sort of happy with enough money to just make the film.
Yeah.
It's like people don't really understand that about filmmakers, because like whenever you say you're a filmmaker, they're like, oh, you're going to be the next Spielberg.
Yeah.
Like there's no in between, and I'm like, well, I'd be happy to just do it all the time,
Yeah.
40 hours a week.
Yeah.
But I would be happy for it to replace my normal job.
Yeah, like a functioning income, you know.
Yeah.
So I put together a treatment and I sent it round to various places asking for meetings and advice to discuss how to put a funding package together, how that's done, who that needs to go to. So that's about sort of like 6 weeks of going through that kind of process. I didn't see very much progress, and I wasn't too convinced that there would be much progress very soon. And I'm so heavily entwined with the making process that as soon as it started feeling like it was the start of a long admin process, I thought, you know, I don't really want to have Happy Returns be a film that's finished in 2022 or 2023 and then have another process of
supporting it through release and distribution. I'm more interested in developing a way of making films on a shorter turnaround that don't need to go through as much of a filtration process of approval and signing off before they get to the point of being manifested.
The lobby was full of rich old businessmen who have spent their lives just chasing money. They have lots of it, but they are too old and tired and cynical to have any fun with it.
The structure of Happy Returns was coming through so strong that I thought, if I've constructed it as something that can be done in one location with a small cast, two things I've not done in Django and freelance Giggle-Oh, they both got lots of people in lots of different places, then why don't I just do it as a thingy? Yeah, because I'd embedded this idea that I had to get a new camera. I was thinking that I'm going to have quite a large amount of money to get another camcorder. But then once I dedicated to doing Happy Returns, I thought, well, let's see what the quote is to get that camcorder fixed. And it turned out that they still made the part. It was a relatively old camcorder. And it was relatively easy to do. So it was a lesson about embedding what you think the solution to a problem is, instead of looking at the problem and figuring out the shortest distance to have it solved so you can continue working. As long as I can find someone that can carry a feature for the lead character, I think it will work, and I think it'll be a fun thing to do.
But that was the moment you fell in love with me.
I realised that it was going to be my third thingy, and
You knew this love would lead you to a future you could never imagine.
the transformative element that Marketta brought to it, that she read into the script and into the character, was far more than I ever expected to have in the thingy. And so that pushed that thingy, that gave it that engine for that character arc to carry all the way through to that feature length conclusion and climax in more ways than one.
Hi, I just finished watching a thingy, Happy Returns. I loved it a lot.
Oh my god, this is absolutely amazing. Blown away with it, so good.
We enjoyed it.
For those of us who've seen previous Daniel Hutchings thingies, I think it's quite surprising.
It's my favourite one of yours so far.
It's still kept with Danny's quirky style.
Subtle character-based humour.
You can easily relate to.
The sun will come around again. The sun will come around.
Are you ever actually happy with them in the end?
Yeah. I mean, when I made Django, I was like, unironically, at the screening, but the cast were going like, it's the first screen. I was so happy that it was done and that it played back and everything. I could just see everything that I'd invested in it and everything. I could read so much in everyone's performances. I was actually going like, I think it's my favourite film. Out of and they're going, oh right, it's your favourite film that you've made. So no, it's my favourite film ever. I love what everyone's done in it. So there's because I want all these actors to feel that what they've given, and the time they've given, and the part of their career they've given to being in the thing is worthwhile. And so every time something's made, I want it to add more value and more meaning to previous works, because I don't want to have a filmmaking career where it just, in hindsight, it appears like you're just trying anything to try and legitimize or validate yourself as a practitioner, as a filmmaker. So it's just really exciting and fun sort of world to sort of work within. And I really like all the performances that I get from people, because they're all no matter what the kind of no matter what the person's like, they always, when they step onto my set, I do as much as I possibly can to make them feel happy. Here we are at the location for Joe King's throne from Django Away. As you can see, it's no longer just Grant's monument. It's no longer just Joe King's throne. Someone's actually made a house in this. I came to visit it for the first time in several years. about this time last year, and I found out that it had been made into a home, and it inspired me to think of my thingies as more like me creating a world, and people can go inside that world and inhabit it and live in it for the time that the thingy is playing, and maybe have some kind of home with it for the life they live when the thingy ends. So what's next for Daniel Hutchings? More thingies!
Hit it! The other day I tried to say to someone on the sea that I felt fine, in fact sublime, because of something I had seen. But the words to describe I could not find on my tongue-made it sing. It's not the word, it was not heard, so here's how I described it. I said, I've just seen a thingy. I couldn't believe my eyes. I've just seen a thingy. It was more than words could describe. It was all sort of, and kind of what's it do? Yes, I've just seen a thingy. If you story will say so too.